Hey everybody, Nuclear Taco 42 here with the second episode of Taco's Tips. Before we get started, I'd like to just fix something I mentioned earlier. On the first episode, when I showed you how to forge the ramp, I told you that when you spawn the properties, it says respawn at start and the symmetry. You can pick either both symmetrical or asymmetrical. Well, that's actually for one-sided or two-sided games, not team or free-for-all. In case anyone's wondering, asymmetrical games are like, let's say you're playing one bomb. That is an asymmetrical game because one team has a bomb they have to guard and the other team is trying to get it. But let's say you're playing two flag, that's a symmetrical game because each team has an objective to guard. Alright, that wraps that part up. Let's get on with the show. Hey guys, what's up? Nuclear Taco 42 here with a second episode of Taco's Tips. In this episode, we're going to be focusing on more advanced forging techniques. There are many different techniques you can use in Forge. The ones I will be showing you are the stacking method, the save and quit method, interlocking, and ghost merging. By using these many forging techniques, you can turn a map like this
Oh, look! My map. That's awesome.
into a map like this. Alright, so the first method I'll be showing you is the stacking method. It's a very simple method to use. You can just take, say, boxes and use them to stack up to the specific height you want. I'll put a couple more on here, and now I'll use the boxes to stack some staircases up, and put on the final touch of a single box. And then you can take the stuff underneath it, delete it, and there you have a floating staircase. It's a pretty useful technique. I mean, you can use it to stack boxes and stuff like that, and make ramps and platforms in the air, and good stuff like that.
Cool stairs.
Yeah. Oh.
I didn't do it.
Okay, well, easy fix. Stack the boxes back up, and put the staircase back, and delete that, and there you have the staircases back. So the next method I'll show you is the save and quit method. First, I'm going to start off by using the stacking method to make a few walls float. And let's see, what can I use to make this wall float? I guess I can use this. See if this works, hopefully. And just stack this on top of this door. Delete the door. Take another wall, stack it on top of the box. And now from this step, instead of using stacking method, I'll use what's called the save and quit method. Just take the wall and get it positioned how you want it. I recommend if you have it available using another controller to see exactly how you have it positioned if you're going to use this method. Makes it a lot easier. So all you do is take it where you want it and then press start. Go to save changes or save as new map if you haven't saved the map, and then go directly to end game without exiting the pause menu. It'll fall, but don't worry, it'll stay there. So you let it load back up. And alright, load this back up. And so as you can see, this wall is still floating. Exactly where I placed it from save and quit. Now you can see it's kind of crooked because I didn't use another controller to see how it was placed. But that doesn't really matter. So you can just take this. Okay, well that wall is a little too high, but still. Jump on the wall and it still stays there exactly like the stacking method. If you have another controller, I recommend using this. It's a lot easier in my opinion. But if you don't, I'd recommend this stacking method if you don't have another controller available. That's an easy way to make other floating objects that you can use. And
It didn't stick. Sad face.
well, I guess you guys get another example. Place it back where it was, sort of. And press start, go to the pause menu again. Hit save changes directly to end game, and it'll stay floating where it's at. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the method called interlocking. So what you want to do is, let's say I'm going to build a giant hallway. So I'm going to take a double box open and place it right here. And now for this, I recommend you take something like a respawn point or a wall or something similar to that and mark the spot where these are, because you're going to need to know where they are. What I usually do is I take a respawn point and take the pointed end and point where the end of the object is to help me remember. Okay, so what you're going to do is you want to spawn the object you want to interlock, press X on it, pull up the properties, and then you want to go to the respawn rate and change it to 180 and change the place at start to no. And then from there, what you want to do is go to start and then hit start new round and hit yes. Now what that's going to do is it's going to restart the round. You'll spawn, but the box will not spawn because you've set it to 180 and no. Now notice I spawned on that respawn point and there's no box. So from there, I'm going to take another double box, and by using the respawn point, remember where it's at, which is right there. So I'll delete that respawn point and place this second one where the first one ended. And then from there, you go back to the double box and then go into the properties. And this time, you want to press X again once you pull up the properties. And where it says runtime minimum, you want to increase the runtime minimum to equal the runtime maximum, and then from that the other box will spawn and be interlocked inside the other box. So from there you want to take the original box's properties and make sure you set it to yes so it doesn't disappear, and press X again and go back into the other properties and change the runtime minimum back to 0. And then you want to go to the second box, and before you do this you might want to put another respawn point, which I like to do to mark the spot where this box is at. And then from there go to that second box, open up the properties, change this one's to 180 and no, double check that you have the runtime minimum to 0, and then go to start new round again. And this time, instead of having no boxes, you'll have a box and a space missing. And then you'll take the other box and go ahead and delete this respawn point since I know where that's at. Spawn the other box and place this right here. And then you'll repeat the same step as last time. Hit X twice, change this to 3 to equal that, and now you have 3 boxes interlocked into each other. So you can continue on this way and make it so you have a nice long hallway.
I did it!
Well, I guess this is a good way to show you guys how to fix a problem if someone decides to jump in your game and break it. Okay, so if something like that happens, what you want to do is go into the properties and make sure they're both set at 180 and no. Double check that the runtime minimum is 0. You might want to place another respawn point to let you know where you need to place the box. Go ahead and make sure this box is set to spawn. Start a new round. And then from there you see how there's no boxes. And then pull the box over so you know where to place it. I'm going to go ahead and delete this respawn point. Place the box back where it originally was, or close to where originally it was. And then go back into the second set of properties. Change this to 3. And voila, you have your hallway back. Alright, so the next method I'll be showing you is the ghost merging method. What you need to do is get 2 of the same immovable objects, such as a double box, and place them next to each other. Then what you want to do is go onto one of the box's properties and set the respawn rate to never. And then you can just leave the properties of the other box the same. So what you want to do is do what they call dummying the object. You want to go up as close as possible to the object and press up on the D-pad and A at the exact same time, and then press up on the D-pad again to get back into Forge mode. And then do it to both. And then you want to spawn that same object and hit these other objects like that, which will move them. And then you want to grab the object whose respawn rate is set at 30. And then you sit and wait until the other object disappears. Alright, now once that other object disappears, what you want to do is go into the properties of this object, press X twice, you'll pull up the budget summary. What you want to do is change the runtime minimum to the runtime maximum, and then it will create a duplicate of the object. And then you can take this object and pretty much put it wherever you want, and it'll stay wherever you place it. So I'm going to stick it into the ground right here and make sort of like a walkway. Place it right there. And once you place it, you can't grab it again until you start a new round. Start a new round. And then once you start a new round, you're able to grab both objects, because as of right now, you technically have two of the same object spawned. So you want to delete the other object to get it back in your object limit. And with this object, you can walk on it and do everything else you normally do with an object. It doesn't move. And you can use this technique to make simple ramps or anything like that. And
Haha, sucker.
Okay, well, I guess I could fix that. Okay, so if someone jumps in your game like that and tries to, I guess, mess up your map on purpose, just repeat the steps that I mentioned earlier and you can get it back to how it was. And okay, and what just happened was my friend pulled host over me. And in order to do ghost merging, you have to have host to do it, so you want to make sure that you set your party to invite only and don't let anyone jump in your game, just to make sure that doesn't happen. And as you've seen from the other videos, it's a lot easier to forge with these techniques with only one person on there. So, okay, and as I was saying, and as I was saying with, okay, hang on a second. Okay, that's one easy way to solve the problem. And so, as I was saying, with these techniques, it's very easy to make a simple map that you can... There's still someone else in here. Hang on. Okay, so with these simple forging techniques, you can use them to make pretty basic maps or very complex maps, whatever suits your style. So remember, when using the stacking, save and quit, interlocking, or ghost merging techniques, remember to always have your lobby set to invite only and to not let anyone join in. Well, that wraps up this episode of Taco's Tips. Now for some bloopers. In this episode, we are going to be focused on...
Look.
Shut up! This is why I don't like doing stuff with you.
It's improv. Punch the air, punch the air.
That was
punch the
really
air.
weird. And that's pretty much it for this part.
You mean I waited 45 minutes, my computer crapping out on me to do a 30-second sing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Bull crap. Needle!
Oh! Quick, storm the camera! Aww.
He's
you not know
put it into itty bitty taco bits. Taco! He was my friend. Well, there's only one thing to do. I know the proper way to take care of this. Rest in peace, Taco.